Yeah, talk about moving to Atlanta. Like, so you used to live in like way south Texas, like almost Mexico, and
Right.
now you moved to Atlanta.
Believe it or not, bro, it's not that big of a jump. It's
Okay.
really like, uh, bro, like I live in an area called like Norcross, which is in Gwinnett County. It's
Okay.
called Peachtree Corners. Is the town, but bro, it's so like Latino here, bro. But it's not just Mexicans anymore. It's like Puerto Ricans, Colombian people, um, Dominicans. Like it's all kinds of Latinos now.
Okay.
It's pretty cool though. I think I just got lucky with that. It's a bit quick, cool transition. But dude, I mean, I moved out here for the music. Just trying to
Yeah.
pursue. A lot of my friends out here. I mean, obviously the scene is here of Christian hip hop and hip hop in general. Um, but a lot of the people I work with, I was flying over here a lot anyway.
Right, right,
And
right.
being in a border town, I didn't really want just like I wanted to offer my kids more, you know, than
Hmm.
just hot days and palm trees and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I really wanted them to experience more for when they do come, if they do come. But
Okay.
what I'm saying? But also for
Right.
us, like I don't want to look back when I'm like, my 50s or something and be like, dang, like I've been here my whole life, So from where I'm from, they're always like, if you get a chance to leave, leave. That's what they always say. It's kind of the motto of the RGV. But I mean, I love my
Gotcha.
home. But
Okay.
yeah, man, I think that it was more of like a career choice and a lifestyle thing as well. Um,
Yeah. Well, and I've noticed in the last year, you've been able to network a little better. You got some crazy features. So that's probably been part of it, right? Like getting to know some of these other rappers and like
I mean,
being in that community more and stuff.
no, honestly, not. I think all that happened when I was there in Texas.
Mm.
Like everything happened. Like I think because of all that stuff, because of me networking, I felt more comfortable to move out here.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't move out here like just like if there wasn't any fruit. You know what I mean? But there is a lot to move off of. To make that kind of big step. I mean, because it's not just me; it's me and my wife, my two
Yeah.
dogs. So I gotta take care of my wife. So yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you got a new album dropping. Uh, I actually just went and listened to it again today. You changed the artwork out.
Yeah, because what you originally had wasn't the artwork. Artwork
Okay.
wasn't finished. This is the actual official artwork
So talk
that you
about
see.
so what's the artwork? There's like some imagery going on there. There's like maybe a little story, a little nod to what you're talking about in the project.
Dude, definitely. So shout out to Cassandra Jolie, Cassandra, the artist. She's also an amazing, not like artist, a singer, but she's also an artist, like artist as far as like creating visually. So I linked up with her and we created this piece. My standard was I want something that you can hang on the wall. Like I want it to be not just like a cover with like my face on it or something like,
Mm.
real hip hop, but I wanted it to be something deeper than that. So that was kind of the vision that I had. No text, none of that, like just a scene, I guess you can call it. So you'll see on the cover art, there's a person holding flowers, and
Uh-huh.
you see a trail of flowers on the ground behind him. Uh, him or her. I mean, it could be a bald lady. You know,
Bald lady.
it just symbolizes a person, right? So this is all in reference to the theme of the album of anxiety, um, going to the song trauma, right? So the when I wrote the song trauma, I think that is when I really felt like there's something to be said and there's a project that needs to happen, right? So I
Yeah.
made the song trauma with a poem that I wrote in the shower, which is really random, but the poem goes, uh, anxiety is like a leaf on a tree. It comes and it goes, says bye for a season until it blooms and it grows. Trauma is like the root from the seeds. It grips and holds. You can never just rip it out. It leaves a scar in your soul. So starting off with that, uh, the anxiety, the depression, those are all symptoms, right? The symptoms are just fruit, to the main seed, the main root of it all, which is trauma, and so for me, that is kind of the theme of that, this person. And I go on to say in that poem that people come into your garden, like our bodies are gardens, our lives are meadows, and people go into your meadows, people come into your life, and they plant seeds in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then you never know what they left until you see the symptom of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whether it be grief, whether it be envy, uh, greed, jealousy, like these are all things uh, that people leave in your life. And so that is that person in the garden. It represents somebody in your life, uh, causing you trauma or just a thing in general. And yeah, I love the color purple.
Yeah.
That's kind of the color I get when I hear the project. When I hear
Okay.
it, it's very dark and yeah, just very cool colors. Like, so, and shout out to Cassandra, man. She really executed it with excellence.
Cool.
Like, it's really like everything I wanted. But yeah, bro.
Cool. It's a really dope album, man. I feel like you've always kind of had that wavy stuff, the melodic stuff going, but you like really spit on here too. Like it's really, really crazy. There's a lot. I mean, you still kind of have it's still like that trap rap stuff. Like it's great. Like this is 350. I feel like this is
Little
what.
sprinkles of it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I feel like on a deeper level, you're talking about a lot of heavy stuff. Like man, a lot of like I took some notes of like drug references and stuff like popping
Right, yeah.
pills, Ritalin, Adderall, swallow insecurity, pop a bean, just talking about mental health, like man,
Yeah,
like
man.
so are you speaking of like a place where like you've been there, or are you speaking like just trying to help people out through that? Is this more of like a
So
first person perspective or
no, this is definitely my life, and this is definitely my experiences. Unfortunately, but yeah, man, like it's just something that's been too real for me,
Mhm.
and because I never, unfortunately, I didn't get the help that I needed. That's where I would resort to, you know. And even now, to this day, I'm still on drugs, but now they're prescription drugs.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Lexapro is the one, or is the one I take daily. Kind of too much information, but whatever. And then Xanax for like panic attacks. Like I'm still
Mhm.
learning how to deal and how to cope and how to live in freedom and walking with Jesus, and Him perfectly being making me perfect. You know what I mean? Because we're perfectly being made perfect, as the word says, right? Like,
Mhm.
so He's still working in me and still pruning the vines, and like yeah. So it's still a daily process, dude. Obviously, I mean, not obvious, but I like to point out that there's not an abuse of drugs,
Yeah.
as there as there once was, but um, yeah, man. Like I think in one of my songs, "Blame," I say the whole song is who's to blame for me taking this. Who's the more so who's to blame for my issues that I'm dealing with. And I think a
Mhm.
lot of a lot of times we want to label it or point the finger at what this is that, this is that. This is why you're feeling this way, and this is why you have
Mhm.
anxiety. This is a trauma that you felt. Uh, but alluding to the going back to the first song, regardless, the first line of the hook is, "You may never know where it started." You know, so and it's funny because that's the start of the album. Just kind of
Yeah.
putting it out there. Uh, but yeah, dude, like it's really like, yeah, medicine has been the thing that's like is a heavy theme on two different levels, because a lot of times in our culture we like to put band-aids over things, and I
Mhm.
think medicine and drugs are band-aid solutions,
Mhm.
for dealing with it. So yeah, dude, it's heavy stuff, but I know Like the Lord didn't give it to me for me. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are feeling this way also. People that
Hmm.
you may know that you may not know about these things, but you know them personally, but they're hiding it,
Yeah.
or they're going through this. So it is definitely my experiences, but for other people as
Yeah.
well.
That's good. That's good. That's kind of what I was asking. I mean, I feel like mental health is like is something that like you just don't talk about that much. And especially like a Christian artist trying to figure out how to talk about it in their songs. I feel like there's another level to that even. So like, you could
Right.
be in your small group or like at church and share struggles with the people around you, but like it's like another level to go and write a song about it, you know? I feel like that's something
Sure.
that sets you apart though, and makes you more relatable to the listener because it's like, oh man, here's a person who understands the struggle. Here's a person who needs God. Here's a person who's looking for hope around every corner and is still like trying to figure life out, you know?
For
So,
sure.
yeah.
And I think I've been trying to train the listener with songs like Wilm, Wish I Liked Marijuana. It
Mm,
sounds like if I like a lot of or Drive Me Home, which is about
mhm,
intoxication.
mm,
So it's like I've always been talking about it, and sometimes it may seem like I want the drugs or like I want, but a lot of us do, or like we at
mm,
least feel like we need it. You know what I
mm,
mean? And that is the real struggle of the Christian, um, from the Christian perspective. A lot of people feel this way, but because of Christian culture, we don't talk about it, and that's
yeah.
what's scary, bro. And the word says, things that don't come to light, what I mean, they just, they just grow and
Mhm.
build into darkness, and it's just, yeah, bro. Like these things need to come to light, and if I can, like, I'm not an advocate, or like I'm not the poster child for mental health whatsoever. Like I'm not that person that's gonna make T-shirts about like protect your mind and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah,
go to
yeah.
therapy, go to therapy. Those kinds of people are built for that. I feel like me, I was just trying to be the perspective of it for
Yeah.
people that may not understand what anxiety is. It's not just feeling jittery or nervous. It's a real, like, for at least for me, it's a disorder that I've been diagnosed with, and but a lot of people develop it.
Yeah.
It's a learned trait, so that means it can be stopped. You
Yeah.
know, but and it's huge within our faith as well. Like just and sometimes it may even, hard to say, may even be triggered by our faith because we're taught that, like, shout out to A3. This is something that he talks about in his album. But like the anxiety of maybe not being good enough for God,
Mhm.
or not being good enough for the church, and just hiding and pushing down your feelings and just who you are, not letting who you are really shine. Like those
Mm.
are triggering within the Christian culture, and those are just food that feeds that darkness of anxiety and depression.
Right.
And yeah, man, like we need to talk about that, and
Right.
I really just want to be myself in that,
Yeah.
like it's not, yeah, I'm not trying to advocate for mental illness. Like of
Right.
course I don't like it, like
Right.
at all. Like I just want to talk about it, and
Yeah.
that's all I can talk about because that's what I've lived,
Yeah, I've heard it said before, like when you talk about these things and they start to lose their power over you. So the more you talk about it, the more they lose their power. Yeah.
That's great, dude. Yeah, like I remember I thought that I was like crazy. And then nobody, my mom, my dad, my grandpa would just pray over me and get the demons out, you know what I mean? But since I was 6 years old, mind you, I'm not talking about like over a month's period, like
Right.
since I was 6 to I was like 20, like even to now, what I mean, now,
Yeah.
but I understand what it is now. But I remember when I was 21 and I was going through this, I met he would become a mentor of mine. His name is, and excuse me, my throat. But I remember just talking to him in a coffee shop, and he told me this story about how he went to like a clinic when he was my age. He thought he was gonna die, and he was like sitting there, and then it passed in like an hour, and he's like, okay, I can just leave, I guess. Like, it took the doctor so long that it passed, and he eventually learned that it was anxiety. And
Wow.
when he would talk about it, for me, it was like, yo, like that's exactly how I feel. And I could put a name to it, and I
Mm.
can give it a name. And when you figure out what is wrong with you or what is going on with you, you know, it's easier to combat it that way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you know what to pray for, and you know how to get help, right? But yeah, like they definitely lose their power when you bring them to light.
Yeah. So talk about, so Regardless just dropped yesterday, right?
Well, as of today that we're recording it, yeah.
As of today. Okay. Well, last
Yeah.
night, I guess.
Last night at midnight, yeah, for sure. Dude, like that is probably one of my favorite songs that I've written. Just because I love that sound, you know, of that grimy hip hop sound. And I guess now we can equate it to like Griselda, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny how you talk a lot about the trap kind of 350 sound.
Hmm.
But at the beginning, as you know, because you and I've been rocking for a minute, like this is the kind of music that I've been making.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean? You know, going all the way back to Seasons and Mountains. Um,
Uh,
you know, even as of recent, my most recent single before the rollout for this album, No More Praying. It is a sound that I really wanted to make my own, you know, because I just love that kind of music. I love like I think one of my favorite projects is Prime by Royce the 5'9" and DJ Premier,
oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
bro. Yeah, I mean, if you have convictions towards secular music, I mean, don't do not hear it by all means,
No,
by
Prime is
any,
dope. Yeah.
but it is excellent writing, and the skill is just
It's
top tier,
crazy.
bro.
Yeah.
It is top tier. His rhyme, Royce the 5'9's rhyme schemes are just insane. Like Slaughterhouse. I mean, that's how I know Royce the 5'9 from Slaughterhouse.
Oh, okay.
So,
See,
but
I've been listening to hip hop for so long, bro. The first time I heard Royce the 5'9", he put out an album called Death is Certain.
death is certain. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was in college when that came out. It was like 2002.
right.
Yeah, I want to say, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
man,
2002, 2003.
he has like 13 albums, dude. For
I
real.
know, I know. He didn't really get super popular until after that. Success is Certain was really good. That was like the part two of that, but it was like
Mm,
probably 12 years later, that he put it out. So 10 years
for
later, I
sure.
don't know. I'm exaggerating probably. I don't have stuff. But yeah, Royce has been crazy for years, man. You got some crazy features on here, man. Do you want to talk about any of these? Like
Bro,
that Mowgli
yeah, dude.
song is crazy. The Mowgli song, dude, that's crazy. I feel like you guys linking together like that, because he's probably like another one who's top of mind for me that talks about mental health and like just like real stuff and has like a different vibe to him. I feel like you
For
guys
sure.
linking together on that song was just like match made in heaven.
That's crazy because I feel like that's not really like people wouldn't think to put us together. But he asked to be on it when because I showed him that song because this project's been finished for a while. But I'm like, yeah, I'm still working on it, bro. He's like, yo, if you're gonna make a remix, like, let me be on it. And I'm like, bro, just get on the actual song, you know. And dude, what he wrote about, you were never worth it all along. Like that is, um, yeah, like I think it just matched so well with the idea of breaking chains, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that song Good Without You is a song about, you know, taking captive of your thoughts and saying
yeah,
goodbye to the things that hold you captive, you know? So for
yeah.
him to come on that, I mean, you talking about from heaven, like, yeah, I think God really like used
Crazy.
Mowgli for that. So the features that are listed, uh, you know, I think Joey Vantes, I mean, he slid, bro. He is the waviest kind of like melodic rapper that I know.
Mhm.
You know, I would equate him even to like freaking like Party Next Door. You
Mhm.
know, just the way he rides, you know, and uses the auto tune to make such a wavy sound. You know, very psychedelic. Um, and I just love that about his sound.
Dude, I love that
So
hook. I love the hook on that song.
oh, dude, that did. Shout out to A3, man. He helped me write it. Uh, but because And speaking of collaborators on that, people won't really know, but John Keith is on that song, but he's not on the song. He made the beat, which
Oh,
is
dope.
it's a cool little nod. Like I have John Keith on my album, but not how people would traditionally think of him to
Right.
be on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, he killed that beat, dude. Like that is probably like the hardest hitting 808s that you'll hear. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and then going down the line, we have my boy Wolf. Also like I think him and I are like on the come up together, which is
Mm-hmm.
super cool. I just love the idea of both of us coming together and collabing. Like he is just such a character, and he's just one of those cool people, bro. Like he just looks like a superstar. You
Yeah.
know, going on to people that look like superstars, freaking Paris Carriz himself. So you talked about Mowgli the Iceberg, bro. Top top two Paris Carriz verses is Los Santos Custom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Los
Yeah. So
Santos
that
on Mowgli's song. Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah. Oh,
Mowgli's
that
song,
song goes crazy. That song's crazy.
Slick, I got back to the block in 2000 bro. Come on, dude. So when I heard that, I gave Mowgli his flowers because I'm like, I told him, I'm like, bro, I got Paris Carriz on this song because I heard your song, and the way he got on that on a dark trap kind of song, I'm like, bro, his voice and his flow just fits so well. And I never like to work with artists that I'm not genuinely like a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to just get like No Big Deal. I'm a big fan of No Big Deal, but if I wasn't, I wouldn't just get No Big Deal as a feature just because he's popping. Like
Right.
that's sort of kind of being fake.
Right.
Fortunately, I am a fan of No Big Deal, so that does happen. Like, or it has happened. Shout out to Joey Blantes. But what I'm saying. So like, I only work with people that I'm really big fans of. That is
Yeah.
like a check off the milestone list for me.
Yeah.
Paris Carriz is one of them. Like I love his sound from the beginning.
Crazy.
Man, he is just and I think he's one of the spearheads to this new wave of making Christian rap cool, right?
Yeah.
Or just making this space bigger than it was. Like he's
Yeah.
leaving a mark on CHH.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like there's a lot of dope extra little teasers in the album from Mission, Texas. His name is Joseph Stingley. He's
What's his?
on
How do you spell his last name?
Sting, so STINGLEY.
Okay, I'm looking him up.
But, bro,
Okay.
he is. You hear his music, bro. He is an amazing singer. He's gonna be on Aiden's album too, A3.
Okay.
But he has like this outro on one of my songs, and bro, amazing. Like his vocal tone and the way, like he's a singer. He's
Cool.
great. But there's little moments like that I just love to create, and it's something like another layer for like the core fans. As they dig deeper into the album, they'll uncover something new.
That's cool. I Love You Divine. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Love You Divine.
Love You Divine.
Yeah, so it is I Love You, right? That's initially what I wanted to say, but I think it was it's a little more cleaner with Love You Divine. We could finish off with this, like, just the name of the project, Love You Divine. Divine is the name of my grandma, right? Her name's Diana, and so that translates to divine. So in creating this project, my grandma had passed away. It was right after Seattle Fest, and I was out of town doing the show, and so I wasn't able to be there for her last moments. So in a sense, I really didn't get to say like goodbye. I did beforehand. We're not sure if she was gonna make it, so we all said our goodbyes. But I felt like this is actually me saying goodbye and thanking her. So in my battle with anxiety, my grandma was a pastora, they would call her. She's a pastor's wife, but she was also, the pastor is not like the person from where I grew up from. Like, it is the pastor, the pastor's wife. Like, them two are the leaders of the church, you know, or they're one of the ones leading the flock in a sense. And she was a pastora, and she was always the one to support, to pray over me, to let me cry, to give me hugs. You know what I mean? She was always the one that was there for me, especially when I needed her, bro. And so she was the one that taught me to take captive of my thoughts. You know what I mean? She's the one that taught me to stand up, and she was a really bold woman, you know, when it came to her walk with God. And she was always like, no, you tell the devil, get up, you know what I mean? Like, she was one of those ladies, man. And so she really gave me the courage, and she taught me, you know, the strength that comes from God in Philippians 4:13, like how to really use it, and to say enough is enough. You know what I mean? Obviously, I did need more help, but as far as breaking those chains in my life, she was a big part of that. You know, and yeah. So this is a way of me just saying goodbye, and finally thanking her, saying love you. You know, so it is literally a letter signing I love you, divine. You know,
Nice.
but yeah,
That's
man,
cool, man.
yeah, so it's definitely, that's why I kind of like take it a bit more serious, because it is this is a stamp in time, I guess. You know, this is a snapshot of this period of my life, my early 20s. And yeah, the loss of my grandma, and just, you know, I'm gonna look back and at this album, and I'm gonna be like, you know, I remember that time very, very vividly, you know. And I have this time capsule of an album, you know, to help me remember, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, love you, divine.